As you know, I did a 180 from having the dream of becoming the CFO or finance manager somewhere abroad, preferably in a Nordic country like Sweden or Denmark, to turning my back to the corporate world and starting my own business as a leadership and mindset coach. What led me to this change and how I found my true purpose and how I navigated those times of uncertainty is exactly what I will dive in today. So, this episode is especially for you if you're currently feeling lost, stuck, unfulfilled, unhappy, or all of that within your career and life. And you will walk away with some key tips on how you can discover your purpose and how to prepare yourself for what's to come if you do decide to make a switch. Because I just want to put that out there. You might already be in your dream job, but not realize it, or you might find it's other factors that are dampening your current experience and not necessarily what you actually do. And I also want to point out that entrepreneurship might not be the answer for you as it was for me. You can 100% have the most amazing and fulfilling career in corporate. There is no one way or the other, but there is your way, and we will find out together what that is. So, let's travel back into my last 2-ish years at corporate. I was working full time while studying full time at the same time as well. And my big goal was, as said, to become a CFO in finance was my jam. Not necessarily in the form of crunching numbers, but I loved interacting with people and helping them understand the financial impact their decisions can have, strategize what's possible to align with their goals, also from the company. And of course, I also did all the month-end closings and budgeting, but I always preferred the people side of things, where I always found was more impact possible compared to just adapting accruals, for example, for office chairs. And with the first restructuring I went through, I also got assigned a huge global project as a project lead and product owner. And this project at first seemed like an amazing opportunity for me, as I could gain more leadership and project experience, which I did get. However, it turned out to be the work that brought me down to rock bottom, and it was more complicated than anticipated. And whilst we managed to launch the new system landscape and retire the old one, which I'm super proud of, I paid the price with running out, as you have heard in the first episode. And when I realized what was going on, I knew I needed to get out and I needed help. So, long story short, I got a coach and a mentor and we got to work. And in this time, we did a lot of self-discovery, and we especially worked on my values and what I wanted out of life. And it was pretty clear, pretty fast, that I couldn't see myself in finance any longer. There was no more joy in the work for me. I didn't have the impact I wanted, and I just felt frustrated and unfulfilled. So to find your purpose or what you want most out of life, you got to go inwards and be curious about what makes you truly happy. Fulfillment then comes from being aligned with that purpose and taking action towards it. So the key questions I pondered on that gave me clarity in that time and that I want to share with you today as well are, first up, what is most important to you? And what do you enjoy doing? And the third question is, what do you want to make real? So these three questions will give you insight on your values and your goals. And if you think right now, I don't know what I want, then think of it this way. What do you dislike the most right now? What do you want to be different? Because knowing what you don't want also provides clarity in what you do want. And I heard a lovely story like a couple years back about a woman who found her purpose in being a school bus driver. She found her fulfillment literally and happiness in the smiles of the students she was picking up daily to bring to school. And I love this story so much because it just shows it doesn't need to be a fancy pantsy job with a wonderful title that's your purpose. It doesn't need to be entrepreneurship. It doesn't need to solve world hunger. It can be enough to make someone smile today, to share words of encouragement, to make a difference for one other person only. There is literally no right or wrong when it comes to what brings you deep happiness. And this is so highly individual, and letting go from that expectation can open up many, many opportunities and possibilities for you in your day-to-day job as well, because you might find you already love what you do. Then once you found that, do more of that, and then you are starting to live your purpose and you found your purpose. So for me, these questions shed light on my desire to inspire others, to help them to make this world a better place, and to see the impact I can have, not only through a balance sheet and numbers, but in the faces of the people I actually work with. And that then obviously led me to signing up for the coach training. And as I mentioned in the first episode, I just knew from the first second, this is my jam. This is exactly what I wanted to do. I could geek out on all the things mindset, work with people and help them change their lives. So that to me was my purpose. However, this also came with some fear and uncertainty as I had to leave everything else behind. And it took a while for me to decide that I want to give this proper shot, actually. And navigating this space wasn't necessarily easy. There was loads of judgment that I faced from others. For example, I still remember that I told one of my managers that I started coaching training, and I was like all excited about it. And he said, yeah, I know what that is. We don't need these people here. And I was like, what the fuck? I literally just told you like how excited I am about this new thing I found, and I've literally found my purpose. And you're like, yeah, we don't need these people here. So that was a bit of a downer. Anyway, I still worked through it. And what helped me the most to navigate those times were three things. One was working through my own self-limiting beliefs and become aware of how I hold myself back. So, for example, one of my major self-sabotage types is the critic. And this one often arises from internalized self-judgment, low self-esteem, or a need for control. And as with all self-sabotage types, it stems from critical messages received during like my childhood, such as harsh parenting or constant criticism, like never being good enough. And I used it as a defense mechanism to prevent further disappointment or rejection from others by pointing out flaws or perceived shortcomings, basically myself beforehand. So I would be harsh to myself. However, this led to being extra hard to myself, constantly pushing to be the best and working more and more instead of smarter or to do what others expected from me so they are not disappointed. But that just led to me being disappointed and unhappy. So I really had to learn to uproot these limiting beliefs and step by step replace them with more supportive ones to build up that self-trust again, to know I can do this. And this can be hard starting from rock bottom after burning out because your confidence kind of gets annihilated in that time, but it is possible. And to find out your main self-sabotage type, I highly recommend you to take my quiz that will ask you several questions, because yours might be not the critic, but instead the perfectionist maybe, or the overthinker. And I will link it down in the description box. Anywho, the second point that emerged from this work was the self-trust, obviously, and to know I can do hard things. I knew nothing at the time about building a business. I had no strategy and only a website and an Instagram account and a vision of making this world a better place. But this is your potent combo right there. Having the intrinsic motivation, aka a strong why you want to do something, and your hashtag Delulu self-belief. Hashtag Delulu means delusional self-belief. Then the last key ingredient that helped tremendously was to focus on the people who were supportive of me and to also let go of those who weren't. And here we are today. Long story short. So to sum it up, to discover your purpose, your first and foremost need to go inwards. Get to know yourself, what you like and dislike, what's important for you, and also how you want to be remembered. And a great way to find your purpose is to ask yourself, when you're at your deathbed, for example, what do you want to be remembered for? And who do you want to be remembered as? What legacy do you want to leave behind? And again, there's no right or wrong answer. There's simply your answer. And if you do decide your purpose lies in somewhere completely different from where you are right now, what can help you to navigate the space is to foster this ultimate self-belief and self-trust. Build a supportive circle around you to have the people to lean on and, of course, to take action towards it. Because in the end, it's what you do that creates the outcome and gets you closer to your goals. It's just what it is. So get clear and take action. So my invitation for you is to take 5 to 10 minutes or longer after this episode and journal on the questions for a little bit and just see what comes up. Then decide on one thing you can start doing from today that will make you happier or get you closer to where you want to be to truly live your purpose. And I would also love to know what comes up for you. Like, do share it. If you're happy to share, jump into my DMs over on Instagram or into the comment box if you're happy to see it for others as well. And I give you an extra boost of motivation. Or if you struggle with this a little bit, I happily help you to find some more clarity as well. Either way, have fun, and I see you next week with another episode.